if I'm sewing this guy, I'm going to start with the base, and I'm going to sew the base to half of the bottom of this piece. So see how it's got kind of a point on each side? Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to stitch from here to here, and then you're going to come over here and do the same thing on the second piece. Okay? Then once that base is on, you're going to stitch your sides. Now, is it wanting to line up for me super perfect? No, you got to make it line up. And the idea is you stitch on each side and then you leave it open between like the horns or the ears on top of the head, like this much. Okay? That's what we're shooting for. The stitch you're going to use, I'm going to show you on this little scrap. And I got to have a needle. So I got all my needles out there. Now, if all of you take a needle and keep it in your drawer, are there any needles for anyone else all day? No. So you got to put that back. So you get a needle. If you have glasses, I would suggest you put them on your face because it'll be easier to thread this needle. So you got to thread your own needle. Maybe. Ha ha ha! And I would say about a foot of thread. You don't need too much because you're going to get tangled up. Now, here's another part people get mixed up on. I don't know why people want to tie a knot at the needle. That keeps your thread in the needle, but that doesn't help you in the long run. You need a knot at this end. So I always just wrap it around and then squish it off my finger. And then if I pull on it, I usually get a knot. And if it doesn't work the first time, try it again. But again, I would just wrapped it around and then pushed it off until I got a big wad of thread all in the same place and it makes a knot. Then what you're going to do is called this running stitch. So you've got your 2 layers. Everybody see it? I would put the knot in between the 2 layers so you don't really see it. And then I picked orange because I wanted you to see it. You want to pick thread that's going to match your project. You go a little bit behind where you came in, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and you come out a little bit ahead. Kind of like that. Does that make sense? Everybody see it? For our viewers at home? Okay. And then you just keep doing that, and you try to keep it small and even. And if you pull it too tight, it's going to pucker up and look awful. Ooh, that's not super straight. You're going to notice every mistake with this different color thread here. But your goal is to make them even and straight. And you always start a little bit behind where your thread is and come out a little bit ahead. And when you get to the end of your stitching, it's really hard to get through for some reason. You just make like a little bitty knot. And so if you just get a little thread in there, and then you pull your needle through that loop and go slow because it'll want to knot up on you. Go really slow. See how it knotted up? You gotta be careful of that because you might have to go back and unknot it and all of that nonsense. But your goal is, there we go, that you pull it right down there and you get a knot. And I would do that 2 or 3 times so that it's really, really secure. And again, you got to really watch it or else you're going to end up with a great big bubble. And you know what, quite frankly, it's a pretty good knot because I can't unpull it. So we're going to cut it and we're done. Make sense? So you're going to sew half your base on to one side and then half your base on to the other side. And then your goal is to go up each side and leave it open here in the middle. Are you ready to try it?